We did it! This deck is sweet. Currently testing out a dumb Magus of the Candelabra deck for Modern. Oh, that sounds spicy. I think it was right not to go for the enter and just win with the Jace. He was basically out of the game, says Osprey. Yeah, but it's cooler to win with the draw your whole deck. But yeah, you could have just won with the Jace there. We were close. He was at, what, 9 loyalty before he started Jace brainstorming? Jace storming? How's the petition going? Asked Free Will. It's going well. I checked my mail. I haven't received anything from you just yet, Free Will. I'm sure you sent it, though. We'll see what happens. We shall see. What do I gifts for? Oh, we can make a cool gifts pile. So I'm thinking the gifts pile is likely going to be gifts, analysis, enter. So you gifts into analysis and enter. Depending on the matchup, we could do a more robust pile. I guess a more robust pile would be mastery, enter, dream, analysis. And then the opponent will give us analysis and enter. And bin both of these, but then we get to use both sides of the analysis. So those are the two piles I can think of off the top of my head. There are many other piles that you could make. You can incorporate a Burning Wish into that. I mean, for example, we only have so many Burning Wish targets. We could actually shave on wishes themselves and maybe run a Merchant Scroll. Or more gifts. Like, the Burning Wish actually could become part of the Gifts Ungiven pile. Although I like the ability to go grab a Pyroclasm really quick. So that'd be a reason to keep the spray, or the burnings. Yeah. Let's play a little more Vintage, though. Let's see if I can't get a game of Vintage. It's really what I'm interested in tonight. I know you guys like Legacy. I know. Let's play a little Vintage, though. We did really well with our Vintage deck tonight so far, actually. The deck is awesome. But I think both of the decks are really awesome in their own way. I mean, you know, Degenerate, draw your whole deck is fun. Lumberjack's fun too, though, in its own way. It's a much more fair approach to Vintage. Although how fair is casting a turn 2 Chronos? I'll let you be the decider on that one. Skylines wants me to play Doomsday. Yeah, Merchant Scroll only gets instants. It's more versatile in something like High Tide. I like the one of Gifts Ungiven, though. I think it's just a one-of. I think it's just going to serve as like a 5th Intuition. And it's weaker. It is weaker, but it'll work. It'll do what we need it to do. Without having to like splash black and run something like Entomb. We can just run a Gifts. And Gifts is a fine value engine. I mean, if you want the Gifts piles to be even stronger, you would main deck 1 Jace. Yeah, you could do that too. MTG bot died again? Maybe. Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know about the Pact. I mean, in this deck, like, unless you've made a million land drops, it's not a defensive spell, it's only offensive. Well, defensive in the sense that it defends our combo as sort of a Miser's 5th force of sorts. Mizzix says run Cunning. Yeah, we could run some Cunning Wish. Cunning Wish would find Pyroblast and Flusterstorm out of the sideboard, and Turbulent, right? This instant, no, it's sorcery. But it's sorcery, so it's part of the Burning Wish. I don't own any Cunning Wishes, but we could get into some. Like, yeah, the first Cunning Wish is very nice. Yeah. Yep, I think that some number of Cunning Wishes would be great for the deck. We'd have to raise more money, and tonight I really wanted to raise money for the charity instead. But yeah, Cunning is sweet. Oh wow, I found this one. Skyline says get release the ants and put Emrakul on top with infinite. Yeah, you can do that too. I have an Emmy, and we can get in a release. Here's the problem though, Skylines, is we're not running show or Emrakuls. We were just gonna be spell based. Oh, you know what? We have extra Enter the Infinites. We actually don't even need an Emrakul. Like, Enter the Infinite is what you put on top. An extra Enter the Infinite. Put that on top, because you can board in an extra one. Just put that on top, and that would serve as an Emrakul, basically. Alright. Can't keep this. Well, maybe I can. It's got a Sapphire, but no red source. It's got the basic Forest and the Dryad Arbor. Let's mulligan. This one's okay. Some preordains. It really is a different deck, Skylines. Like, it can run some similar cards like Blood Moon and Jace, Power Blasts and Forces, but at the end of the day, like, it is a very different deck. Not in necessarily a good way, it's just different than something like, you know, Omni was, or Sneak and Show is now. It's just a different shell. I like it a lot. I like that we don't, like, here's my problem with, not that I think it's a bad thing, I think the deck's actually very good. Like, I would say Sneak is faster. The benefits that we get is we have less dead cards. So if you have an Emrakul or a Grizzlebrand just chilling in your hand, they do nothing. Like, if you look at most Sneak decks, they're going to run 7 to 8 fatties. They're going to run either a split of 4 and 4, they're going to run 4 and 3 of Emrakuls and Grizzlebrands. And those cards don't really do anything outside of the combo. Whereas our deck, like the Intuitions and the Gifts and the Wishes and all these other tools, do something outside of us exclusively comboing. Yes, that's their ultimate goal, but you don't always have all the pieces to do so. So do you want to lumber, or do you want to just preordain? Could just preordain. We can't cast release. We can't pay for release. We're not playing Omni. Yeah, it's not an Omniscience deck. It's not. That's the other thing. It's not an Omniscience deck. It's an Enter the Infinite deck. You draw the whole deck and then you kill them with a huge Lightning Storm, or Conflagrate, or you can run Laboratory Maniac, although I've decided not to, but you could. You can run a Lab Man, although we didn't need it. We were killing people pretty successfully just with Lightning Storm and Conflagrate. Let's actually test out the basic island that we added after the last match. We added a basic island. So we'll see if we actually want it all in the deck. I don't think so, but we have to test it to figure that out. And we drew Sapphire, potentially. Staticaster's good here in this matchup. So why don't we keep both of these? Let's go top. I mean, I'm not complaining, the deck is working. Let's see what this next preordain sees. And a land. Fantastic. So we will go top. See go. Now remember, Delta can't get crap. If we're gonna run, hang on, we totally just changed the mana base entirely. Not for the better, but if we're not gonna run the Deathrite Shamans, the blue is gonna be hard. But there's only really one blue card in the deck, and that's Dig. Part of me is really missing the old mana base I had for this deck. Yeah. Or if we are gonna run things like Delta, we need to run. I just don't think we can afford the Delta because the only red sources I'm running are specifically the Taigas. I mean, we were pulling off the dig through time for a long time, even without Deathrite Shaman. I think you just grab the tropical and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's nothing wrong with leading Safekeeper. Safekeeper into Time Walk is okay. Never Seen Jailer, card sick. It's great against Dredge. Fantastic. Can they turn off Lighting Storm with Needles or Revokers? Yes. They can. I assume this is getting countered. Or not. Drew a Force. We could pitch Staticaster to Force. Yeah, I think we just hurt our mana base way too much. I don't even think the basic island was worth it. I mean, maybe specifically basic island is worth it, but like some of these other fetches we've decided to incorporate don't seem worth it. Specifically the Delta. Maybe I'd be fine if we just cut the Delta. Like this Delta's hurting us so much because we really wanted a red source there. Bolt. Man, it seems brutal. Yeah, I don't like the Delta. Let's run something better. Could just be another Scalding Tarn. Scalding Tarn does a good job getting everything running. I don't know why we decided with... Why did I decide... Like, what possessed me to run the Delta? We were, like, running a Bayou or something? It must have been, like, Bayou. Should just be Tarns. Could we add Soul Rings or Mana Crypts? You could. The deck wants colored mana, though. Not that colorless mana is terrible, unless I'm mixing these two up. But, I mean, the colored mana, the colorless mana is only so good in this type of deck. There's nothing wrong with Crypt, though. I think you want the Moxen first, then you consider things like Crypt and Soul Ring for this style of deck. No, it's not a budget thing. I think that we just misassessed the mana base. I think it does want... Let's see, we got 2 Catacombs, 3 Tarns, 4 Misty, right? Was the split I was going to do? So that gives me 6 green fetches for Dryad and Forest, and that gives us 7 blue fetch for Basic Island. That seems more correct. Yeah. And again, like running any duels, like running any lands that aren't forests have implications with Lumberjack, by the way. Like even just these 2 lands, the fact that they're not forests, I think that's why I wanted the Bayou, to be honest with you. Yeah, we were running a demonic tutor at one point. I had a tutor. That's kind of like a 5th survival. I mean, a tutor can be whatever you want it to be. We had a tutor for a while. If you cut the block splash, though, you lose Jailer and you lose... You don't necessarily lose the ley lines, you lose Abrupt Decay. Here's another way you could build the deck. Just as an example. You can go back to Deathrite Shamans. I think the deck began with a playset of Shaman and then moved to fewer and fewer. You could just go back to the Deathrite Shaman build as well. I don't know about Tutor. You can even just cut the dig through time because blue's hard and just let Cruise be our extra draw 3 in addition to a recall. You could cut the dig. You could. That's another thing we can think about. Instead of running dig, just run Tutor. And make it so the deck doesn't have any blue requirements at all. Goblin says use a spreadsheet. No, I think we can just figure it out. I don't know if we necessarily need to go to mana spreadsheets.